Speaking with Paul Lepinier this morning, incoming MD at Strickland Metals on JustStocks. Paul, good to speak. Good morning.
Thanks, Andrew.
Look, you've had big news this morning on a gold acquisition in Serbia. But look, firstly, first time you and I have spoken, Paul, tell us a bit about your background, your experience.
Well, I'm a geologist by background, so I've got a bit over 20 years experience, primarily in exploration, primarily all around the world, over 20 countries. Prior to this role with Strickland, for the last 7 years, I've been with Iberia Capital, where I was a founder. Iberia Capital's got about 150 million US dollars under management, which we've invested directly into assets, including this one. Prior to Iberia, I was exploration manager at Fortescue Metals up until about early 2013. So, yeah, primarily exploration and project generation, and primarily international work.
Well, in terms of this new gold asset in Serbia, tell us a bit about the deal and some of the terms.
So it's a very clean deal. So it basically comes out to about 34.2 million in Strickland scrip. And Strickland are also assuming about a bit over $2 million worth of sort of holding costs and short-term loans in the holding company. So the cost to Strickland is about just around 37 million Australian dollars.
And I understand it has an existing resource, 5.4 million ounces. In terms of resource growth, what are your plans? What are you looking at?
Yeah, so importantly, those resources are currently defined on 2 deposits. We've actually got 4 deposits defined by over 100,000 meters of drilling. So the other 2 deposits, which currently don't sit in resource, they've actually got a combined 1.6 kilometre of mineralised strike, which is actually more than the 5.4 million ounces. So we're very confident in the next sort of 12 to 18 months, we'll be able to double that resource base.
And so you're already looking at a diamond drill program. You tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, so we're planning about 60,000 meters of drilling. So all drilling that we do there in Serbia is diamond drilling. And importantly, it's actually quite low cost. It only costs 110 US dollars a meter. So why wouldn't you? So we're going to drill about 60,000 meters. Of that, about 35,000 will be focused on resource drilling, and including those 2 deposits, getting them into maiden resources, but also upgrading the other resources. And then we've got about 25,000 meters that we've penciled in for exploration. So we've got over 20 targets on this project just dying to be drilled. These are big targets. And we've seen from the deposits that we've got already, just one of them can easily be 5 million ounces.
Paul, tell us a bit more about the environment in Serbia for explorers and developers and some of the names operating there in country.
Yeah, so Serbia, I've found, having worked all around the world, certainly to be one of the better places I've worked in over 20 years. So what a lot of people in Australia might not recognise or realise is Serbia's actually got a really mature mining industry. So it's currently Europe's 2nd largest copper producer. It's got a series of massive copper gold mines in the Bor district. And it's also one of Europe's largest historical zinc, lead, silver producers. And that's in the Trepča district where our project is. So it's got a really established mining industry. It's got all the skills you need and all the infrastructure. For example, at our project, we've got paved road and high voltage power running through the project. We've got an operating mine just 4 kilometres away, and it's got a really, well-established mining code.
I know you're a big fan of the Yandal Project, the existing project within the Strickland portfolio. Just tell us a bit more. How do you see this new asset complementing Yandal?
Well, I think that's a really important thing. One of the things we liked about this deal was, getting exposure to the Yandal. So we view the Yandal project as being of really high strategic value, obviously close to Dundee. Everyone knows the deal that Strickland did with Northern Star last year. So we see the real potential to do another one of those deals once we've done a bit more exploration. So really important here is the plans for the Yandal don't change. So we're going to have at least 2 rigs on the Yandal for the bulk of this year while we continue to drill all these targets. So I think these projects go really well hand in hand. On the one hand, the Yandal, any gold we find there is hugely valuable. And on the other hand, we'll be deploying capital into Rogozna, where the bang for buck on exploration is pretty much unparalleled.
and clearly well funded to advance both projects with cash and a shares portfolio totaling north of $50 million.
Absolutely. It's a pretty enviable position for anyone to be in, to have, this quality of projects with this balance sheet is pretty much unheard of in the junior space. So the beauty of all of this is we don't need to raise capital.
Good to speak, Paul. Nice to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.